Well, that's great. Okay, we'll leave it as. That is the one that we want. Okay. Get it without being too loud. My Come in, everybody. You Today is going to be a joy historical day. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's supposed to be classical in the open Okay, so if that wasn't beautiful to set the tone of today. Now, some very, very exciting, big, and new things are going to be happening with the same areas that we have been looking at, but maybe changing the customs just a little bit. Now, last night was Zach Callison's concert, and you all did phenomenal at that concert. I am so very proud of each and every one of you, because you really showed the expression, the emotion, the passion, and the strength, and the beloved charm, rather, for our mentioned guest, Zach Callison. And you all nailed the Perfect Day song. And I did take that Phantom Love song off the menu for the concert, but we did Familiar, and we even sneaked in a little extra song that I thought it was just too gorgeous not to. Whistling in the Dark. I know Keith's song that Zach was really getting good at it. He really enjoyed, and he said that he wanted to sing it at his concert. If the Minton guests wants to sing it at their own concert, why would I say no? You know, it's honoring the Minton guests and what they need and what they want. And we have already, we're already planning to put a couple of those songs on your YouTube channel, right? The Whistling in the Dark, and then also we'll put Aladdin on there sometime, and Where the Lost Things Go. I'm very, very excited. We're really getting to a new place. But this really is in question, because I really don't know that you'll be staying long at the Minton. Hopefully the interest can be regained. But it's a little bit on the weak side right now. So today is July 7th, 2020. The sun is in Cancer, moon is in Aquarius. It'll be there. It was there yesterday. It'll be there until tomorrow. We're going to get to the horoscope, maybe sometime. I don't know if it'll be right now. Cancer is the emotional, coochie sign that's all about the comforts and the family and everything. And I'm also very, very sensitive and soft and touchy and empathetic. And then Aquarius is this open-hearted, open-minded person that is all about humanity and accepting everybody, and I'm just really fascinated in a deep sense of empathy for that, and very, very airy and very quirky and innovative, and unpredictable, original, and rebellious, which adds kind of fun and light to that Cancer. So a very, very interesting combination, a fun yet a feeling and nurturing mother, and a very, very interesting, fascinating one. So we'll watch the horoscope for that, but I really want to get into all of my plans to start out today, okay? And I'm not feeling the most optimistic and, enlightened about today as I probably was in the springtime or late June, because it's so incredibly hot out there, and it really feels like summertime to me. It is definitely not spring any longer. And I think that, especially that heat kind of, as much as it energizes, it kind of makes me a little bit sleepy and a little bit tired and drains me out and everything. And that's kind of you get summer blues, kind of dead of summer, the dead of winter and everything. So we're going to be watching episodes of Season 4 of Just Add Magic. Season 4 of Just Add Magic. And I don't know if you have all seen that season. I saw it once, way back in 2019, and I was only half interested in it. I just flew through the episodes. I watched most of them on the Saturday and then on the Sunday. That was when we read Tuck Everlasting, if the memories are coming back and we had him here at the Minton. So we're going to be watching that season, okay, because Zach Callison playing Chuck is featured in that season. And if you think about Chuck Everlasting, he was somebody who probably existed in the 1800s, and Chuck, or Charles Pizer, existed in the 1800s. And that's exactly where we're going. So we've already talked about the, like all of our customs, like the Tyson connection. We already did the regular honoring, resemblances. We really got into Chuck on season 2 and honoring Zach Callison. Now we're going to be looking at Charles Pizer, Chuck from Just Add Magic, and, well, Zach Callison in the 1800s. And that's really well in the Tuck Everlasting. Tuck Everlasting, whatever his last name was, I believe that his name, that rhymes with Chuck. Does not make sense. So he existed in the 1800s, I believe, and he was immortal. But he thrived in the 1800s. He was like, he would eternally live, just like Chuck, eternally lived up until the 21st century. And those are very, very old people that really take on classic 18th century American history, around the time when the Gold Rush and the westward expansion and the Civil War went on. If you are, familiar with that time period in American history, and this is the time of year for that. After all, the 4th of July was just a couple of days back, and that was the time of the Revolutionary War, and that's the time when America was born, and I'm not there yet, but we're going to be really delving into a lot of history for the next days or so. So we've already looked at, what we really need to look at with the mentioned guests. Now we're going to take it a step further with changing our customs and diving and delving into history. Today is also the birthday of a long-lost friend that I had back in middle school, and that was when the Just Add Magic Protector was, grade level type of education level that they were at. And that leads me to what I'm going to tell you later. But July 7th, which is the day of, is a birthday of a long lost friend that I had. And I knew him very, very well. And I'm going to talk about his story and how that ties into Cancer, because we're still in Cancer season, and I'm still carrying out meetings of the Cancer Clubus. And indeed, we had a meeting just yesterday, and you noticed that I didn't film the meeting. So I'm going to be making different meetings without having to film them. We read into Cancer as a child on the last meeting. We'll keep reading, but I'm going to talk about his story and how that relates to Cancer season. So I'm not going to name the name, but I'm going to tell you that this individual was born in the city of Seoul in Korea, and was sent here to America, to the Midwest, adopted. So he knew his parents when he was small, probably barely like a baby, and you can tell immediately moving here, because the accent's not really authentic Korean. There's an American and Korean combination in there, so it's a very interesting mix, just like people like Amy Hill, Ida Perez. So he is somebody who really channels the energy of Cancer, because he is a Cancer sun. And I'm surprised that it's not an Aries or a Gemini, because there were several things, and we became friends when I was in the 6th grade. And I got to know him. And he had a couple problems, shall we say, very, very small problems. He got made fun of in school. He got teased, disrespected. People couldn't mind their own business. Bullied. Criticized and insulted for, just being a little bit immature, having a temperament and going on rages and all those types of things. And talking too much, very, very Gemini, and very, very emotional. And he was somebody who I really, really felt sorry for getting treated very, very unfairly. When he started talking, got criticized, said stop talking, and acted out at certain occasions. And I can remember inviting him for a birthday. We were driving up to play bowling, and he just could not stop talking. That was one of those things. And was a very, very kind friend, although I really didn't get to know him, exceedingly well like I did another friend whose birthday will be coming up at the end of next month. And I'll talk about the Virgo, Aries probably combination around the time of Mrs. Talea Talk's birthday, which is on the 28th of August. That's also the birthday of, if you remember from Just Add Magic, Mr. Morris, who is played by Usman Ali, or a nickname I like to call him, the Poser, which is that poser custom that we were talking about in resemblance to my 7th grade social studies teacher. But on that another time. So now that we have talked about that, I'm going to move on to my very next announcement, which is that the cast of Just Add Magic, the 3 people who make it happen, the 3 protectors, which are Olivia Sanabia, Aubrey Miller, and Abby Donnelly, are going to be arriving here today. They're going to be coming here at about 3:30. So that is in about an hour and a half, I'd say. So they'll be here in about 3:30. Also known as Kelly Quinn, Hannah Parker Ken, and then Darby O'Brien. I'm very, very good at remembering names, as you can tell. So they are the real individuals from Just Add Magic, and I figured it's about time that they were to arrive here at the event and that we can watch season 4 with them, and maybe all of the seasons again, with them, and they can talk us through certain things and trivias, and we can get to maybe interview and understand what it was like filming the show, what they did with props, what it was like working with the actors, what the spells were, blah, blah, blah. So it will be a really fantastic and wonderful honor and experience to get to meet them. So they're going to be here for a long time. The interest and the charm that I had towards, Zach kind of faded away a little bit, but we're going to regain it back another way. So, let's see here. So we're going to get to the Just Add Magic Season 4. It is a very, very interesting season, and you're going to feel at the beginning a longing, a feeling of sorrow, a feeling of melancholiness, feeling of loneliness, and a feeling of things changing and not being the same, a feeling of missing the old nostalgia. I mean, you're going to feel like you got so used to it. Like, I was watching it and I didn't realize how comfortable I got with the whole Mama Piece and everything, and all of them remembering magic, because if you remember, they still remember the magic after season 3. And then then all 3 of the original cooks, the grandmother, Mrs. Silvers, and Ida Perez, or Mama P, don't remember the magic. And because they were only the ones that remember magic is one thing, but I'm not going to really spoil it too much. But that's just what I want to tell you. It is a very, very interesting season. It is very, very quick to get through. The lighting is also very interesting, and it definitely takes a little bit of time to get in there, to get into it, but there was going to be a really, really big surprise that's going to blow you away when you watch this season and when you figure out, whatever mystery it has in store. That's all I'm going to tell you. That is all I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to give you any hints about it because this Minton has not seen season 4, all 3 seasons, but that season. So, never seen it, but we will see it, and we will be getting into it, of course, looking at it carefully, just like we do, what class or any type of thing, just like we do at the Minton. Lines and everything like that. So you'll find out how that all works when we get into the series. And the first one is very, very interesting. The season 4, episode 1. It says like season 301, 302, or 201. I don't get that. It's season 4. So by now, you are all probably wondering what these 2 images are. That's what we're going to be getting into today. I'm going to move this out of the, excuse me. I'm going to put this out of the way so that I can do this. Okay. You know that I'm all about comparing at the Minton, but I'll leave this for a little bit later. Now, you probably look at this image so much that the effects and the feelings are wearing off. The charm is wearing off. I've looked at it so much that it's just kind of dulled me to the point where I need to hear the voice. And I really, really wish that magic was a thing, because I would be cooking a recipe to change me into another person. That would be the really, really neatest thing. I definitely would have fun with it. So these are a couple of images, and I'm just going to put some tape on these, because these are going to be delving into Zach Callison, or Chuck, or Charles Pizer in the 1800s. So we're looking at it from New Customs, because if you look at the trailer, Zach is featured in season 4 in one episode of the Just Add Magic. So that's going to be really, really exciting to see him and what he has to bring, and it's also going to be really, really nice to see that bonding and the connecting and the talking, as if he wasn't the villain, because we found out in season 2 that he was not an evil person. Just missed the sister and missed the living in the 1800s. So I wish that there was more of those good friend-like moments, but so be it. Indeed, there will be, because they will all be meeting here today. So it's gonna be really, really exciting to see episodes of the season 4. I think that you'll really be interested. That you'll really like it. So, let's see here. Getting really emotional as well. Now, I accidentally put a piece of tape over that one, so don't look at it. So, here are the 2 images right here. And I'm going to take this one out because I really want you to pay attention to these 2 images. Now, these are the 2 images right here. And they're a little bit small and a little bit difficult to see because they're really, really dark. And I'm not going to turn the light on because it's summertime. It's really hot. So, this is one of those images from the season. And I might be spoiling a little bit. I hope not. But these are 2 of the images that will be featured in season 4 concerning Zach Callison, the new Minton guest still. And we're going to be becoming an official Minton person pretty quick here. So that's going to be very, very exciting. So we might look at these again when we get there. But this is Zach Callison. This is Chuck in the 1800s, wearing 1800s clothing and looking that way. And he'll probably be viewed as a different type of person looking at him from, a different time period, dressed in different time period. As somebody who is very high in society, very important, very important role in the head of the legacy of, the Paizo family, obviously. That's kind of the air that gives off. Now, the song that I was playing to you while you were coming in, because things seem random and they just come together. So that song that I was playing for you, I forget the name of it. It was like a Latin name, but there was a certain air of belovedness to that, which is also very, very similar to the belovedness, but not exactly, because remember, back in 2014, the wintertime, and this was also at Julia S. Convul's Minton, because I've already told you this, but one time we had fairies at the Minton. We had the animations, and then we also had the live action, because of our babysitters can transmit those things from the movies into real life. So we had them here. Remember watching Fairy Tale, A True Story, whatever it is. You remember the scene? It was so beloved. Remember the scene where they were going to the girl's house and they were on the beams and on the ceiling and hanging around, thanking them for the house and the respect and all the things that they've done and all the, how kindly they treated them. And it was such a memorable, very, very special, and I'm going to use the word again, very charming, beloved moment. And those are the feelings that drive me to have Minton guests. And that also goes with other emotions, and I have a name for those emotions. Night at the Museum Smithsonian, or just Night at the Museum. And indeed, these 2 images give off the air in a combination of both, with a historical perspective. So the music kind of had a little bit of a violin to it, a really kind of classic American feel, which is, kind of 1800s, which is the time period of these 2 images of kind of the, just the magic and the, it's very, very difficult to describe. You know, it involves the person, how they talk, how they look, how they go about the charming connections, um, and how neat things look, and um, so much. It's very, very difficult to explain. Um, because these things are very difficult to explain. You know, they involve you to see it, and they only make sense through you being able to see it, because I didn't have the words to describe it. But I do have the images, and these are the two images. Looking very, very old-fashioned. You know, looking like the head of a town official or something. So this is Chuck. This is Callison. If were to be in the 1800s. This is these two images. So I'm going to leave these up here, including putting the modern image up here as well so that you can see it. I'm going to move this board a little bit over so that we can get to what we need to get to today. If I forgot anything else that we needed. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing, because we need to do this, we're going to be looking at, and there also might be someone else coming as well with the event, if I decide to have them there. But so anyway, we're going to watch that horoscope. Oh wait, I don't think that that's very easy to do, is it? Okay, well, we're not going to worry about it today. Now, 2 days from now, on Thursday, it's going to be something really, really fun. Just because it's summertime, I think it would be really, summertime is a great time to diet, a great time to go vegetarian, because it's so hot, you want something kind of light, and plus you want to cut down on the heavy foods and that kind of thing. So we're going to be having something really healthy, very, giving energy, very nutritious, very fruity, very sweet, and very tasty and refreshing. And that is, we're going to be going over, and we're going to be ordering out the drive-thru of smoothies. We're all going to be getting a smoothie. Because